Let's go into the final. Winner takes all. $250 on stake here. Best of 5 series. So you need your 3 wins. Ties getting replayed if any. Okay, so
Yeah, they
no player names will be available. I'm seeing the mulligans now. I got in. Not sure if there is.
I can't see leaders. So if you ever want to check, just let me know and I'll confirm how many leaders you've there.
But yeah, we know that Mystical Skellige has been banned. We also can check the deck, and there is the secret. So DANIRAI is at the bottom, and Mystical is playing monsters. But yeah, the blue coin is on the top at the moment. So Mystical starts. AQ is known as a blue coin deck.
These are not great draws. So with the only way to tutor a unit is coming from the Arcane Tome. That's not what you want. And yeah, DANIRAI probably knows something is off as soon as the Idir is played to start with, especially like this kind of matchup. There's no reason to not start with a defender unless your draws are extremely poor. And yeah, that's the Heatwave used immediately.
A bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
Okay, we also had predictions running for the entire series, but okay, so yeah, this is the last 10 seconds for you to participate, guys, in chat. But yeah, let's see, is the Sigvald is getting dropped? Well, potentially combining with the Knut if necessary to keep the board clean, but at the moment it doesn't look like that's going to happen. What do we see as a reply? Of course, Arcane Tome gives you an Aeromancy into anything you want, but you give your opponent access as well. So runs are very scary. Left unchecked in round 3, or even in this round potentially with some of the organics. So Mystical decides to put one of those into the Arachas Queen. Also notably, anything that DANIRAI plays might potentially get sabotaged out. And if it wouldn't be enough just for Knut and Sigvald to deal with that brand, because that was only 4 damage, Arcane Tome has its downside. It can easily provide your opponent with the access to the win con or for the combo that wasn't potentially on their hands initially. Okay, that I did not honestly expect to happen.
I think that's more just to play around a Heatwave here. That's like the only reason I think you'd take that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, you'd be baiting the opponent into, well, not really baiting, but forcing them to actually have a consume. You know that the tome is on board, so the opponent would have guaranteed access to the Heatwave either in hand or played from deck via the tome. And you don't really want it to get banished right now, because then it banish onto Sigvald or screw onto Knut can make it a bit awkward. Like, really deny your sort of value coming back with the Sabbath. But I guess like the reverse side of that is that Mystical does need 3 units in the graveyard of DANIRAI to bring back, and the only 2 units right now are things you really don't want to bring back.
Yeah. Okay, bear you are like okay with, but other stuff is well. Can you show me more units that I can choose from? But yeah, pretty stacked graveyard nonetheless. Getting an 8-point body out there with 2 engines is amazing. So Mystical. Sorry. Decides to.
The lack of
You can go.
Yeah, as you can say, the lack of Parasite here really hurts because you can't kill the Knut here. Not having a Stalker on board means you can't combine this Hideous Feast to actually finish the Knut off. You could kill it next turn with the second Hideous Feast, but that's a quite slow play here, and we might just see the Vile coming in onto the Sigvald. Probably a click with Knut to finish off this Vrown Warrior.
Not ideal in terms of vitality, getting cancelled.
No.
But I guess the deed has been done already, so we see the Knut ping. So Knut ideally is dying here, ideally for Mystical, of course. Playing the second Hideous Feast, quite a few organic cards dropped already. No Squirrel.
This was... yeah. Like, what's that? Didn't feel great for Mystical. It is also a bit hard now for DANIRAI to actually keep contesting this round. Like, notice that whilst he is staying ahead, it's only by the slimmest of margins. And Slash currently is not looking amazing, especially because you're not going to be able to get your Bloodthirst 2. It's really only like 4 damage. Like 4 points here is not good at all. Nero could be alright. Yeah, and we actually see Mystical playing the Hive Mind here, so this should provide enough tempo to give the round win now.
Yeah, Cutting Slash just found itself a target that keeps DANIRAI ahead if he wishes to. But yeah, Oneiromancer still has a bunch of stuff to play. So it's up to DANIRAI. Yeah, decides not to, or at least decides not to slash on the Kiki. There, decides to go for carryover denial, and we see the thing banished. Organic card, the Hive Mind is no more. It of course is nice, denying like potentially infinite points if the Stalker is sticking, but denying power for this round as well.
Yeah, like just imagine you don't deal with the Hive Mind. Like there would have been an extra, say, Stalker or a Hatchling coming this turn with like leader charge, and that would have been quite scary. Early Sigdrief is right. Additionally gives Doomed onto this Knut, which means that he can't be brought back with the Sabbath anymore. But yeah, I think DANIRAI really is valuing this round win quite a lot. So able to stay ahead, and I guess you'll still commit the Sove to win the round here.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't feel great, but...
So,
May
Mystical has 4 leader charges at the moment, right? So he can calculate stuff, but well, you cannot really calculate the Svalbard in terms of if it drops. You probably are losing quite a lot. We also see Mystical use the pinks offensively instead of like denying the Sigvald value or Svalbard value by eating all the drones from his side of the board. So I'm curious.
So notably, by using just these leader charges here, Mystical is able to get ahead of the Sove. So to actually get the lead here, DANIRAI would have to commit the leader on top of the Sove. Like, you can't just play the Sove back row, you don't have a target playing a front row with only 1 Bloodthirst set up. And even 2 leader charges wouldn't give you enough Bloodthirst to pull a Squirrel out. So the question is, do you commit leader plus Sove here to win the round, win on even? Or do you just give up the round and say, I think I'm able to deal with Sabbath in a future round? The answer is, I'm gonna take the win on even despite having to choose my leader. So, pretty expensive round, more so from the Skellige side. the Monsters side, I don't think played as much of value, generally speaking. Actually, no, you did play the Idiot, you did play the AQ,
Yeah,
played the
the Hive
Stalker, the
Mind
Hive
has
Mind.
gone. So,
Yeah.
but pretty non-standard, I'd say. What was maybe if you play the matchup many times, you know, from both sides that there is no out. But I'm pretty certain the Swellblood was enough for DANIRAI, right? And the gap was like 14. He had less units on his side of the board.
Yeah, I think Blob would have done it no matter what there.
Brand Warrior is working only during your turn, so it wouldn't boost for all the drone skills. Unless I'm missing something, so it was just a bet from Mystical that there is no Swellblood in DANIRAI's hand, otherwise it would be a preserved soul leader.
So Mystical decides to keep the Sabbath, and if you look at DANIRAI's graveyard, there's a Sov, a Raging Bear, and a Sigvald coming back, compared to a AQ and 2 Brand Warriors,
And
or potentially a Dragon Warrior. So that's not a very good Sabbath in a short round. Negative point Sabbath right now. And Mystical actually kept it in hand, opted to mulligan the Glusty over the Sabbath, which to me is quite sketchy, because if you get bled here, I mean, I don't know what you do.
Okay, we see the Sabbath.
20 point deficit.
Okay, gets the Brand Warrior, so at least there is no problem there. He spent quite a few leader charges, so the Glusty is only powered by the drone on the board and from AQ's click, if you need to go for that. But you only ever develop extra drones on your last turn when you know that the Swellblood is not coming for those.
I wonder if you just pass here as DANIRAI and force a lot to be committed, or you just go all in with the blob and threaten the 2-0. Okay, just opts to push the tempo without committing the blob. Arguably, like, going for a complete, like, blob trigger would have been more negative points.
Yeah.
See the heat wave on the serve. Yeah. And now DANIRAI probably just does the maths. Would a Glusty catch up if I play my blob here? And that is a question I would answer if I was not too tired to do maths.
Yeah. I think I'll leave it to DANIRAI as well. We'll see. So far we also had very good suggestions from Gravesh and Nan about buffing the Witch's Sabbath because it just played for negative points. So yeah, take notes, all people eligible for voting in the Balance Council. This game is just a showcase, and I suppose the math has been done. The gap is pretty big, and we see that the leader charges and AQ's order has been clicked. Glusty is playing for how many? 7 drones there. So
does it?
20? Yeah, does it? Wait, what's the math? Maybe DANIRAI didn't see the leader charge there. I don't know, but
I mean, yeah.
I'm joking about nothing, but
Ooh.
Wow.
I think Danny needs location to win this.
Okay, there is
That
a
depends.
defender.
Yeah, his defender is really rough though.
So even
Priest Recall's
location.
not terrible. This Stalker is kind of useless right now. Okay.
Double location even.
But I'm not even sure how
yeah.
good this location is because of this defender.
Yeah, defender takes away one of the location's orders basically.
Like, it'll have some synergy with the Drakkar, I suppose. Like, the Drakkar will trigger the exposed, but you have to also click the location this turn to get value out of the Dwim, which means
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's
almost Suicide.
Yeah, that's what I mean in terms of like taking one of the orders away here. So 1 second. Ooh. So Incubus is able to bring the Ran Warrior for provision card. We don't see it here because, well, the Glusty was already out, but yeah, that would have been a pretty nice option if you still had some of your stuff ready. So we see the Clash, we see Dwimviandra play it on occasion, but yeah, your units are so small as well, so... What's the fun?
Is this a tie? This is a tie, I think.
Is it with the Drakkar Clash? It doesn't get triggered, so yeah. If only you could choose the amount of armor you can give. But here we go.
Yeah, I'm not even... Yeah, I'm not sure the Blob even really played for that many points, because, like, DANIRAI's board was a lot more developed than Mystical's board at the end of that round too. So, yeah, I think definitely would have just won that game if you just passed before playing the Blob. Let something have to be committed, because that was still quite a point gap before playing the Blob. And then you have a card up in the short round, just having, like, Blob is also a 10-point body, right? It's quite good when you in this kind of top deck situation where you're playing kind of like 5-ish point bronzes.
But yeah, pretty non-standard round 1, unfortunate draws from the AQ player, and we got ourselves a replay because that round 2 reach from double Vran was exactly enough, so pretty exciting ending for the game, and we get to see it again, now with the player names. So we witness Defender.
If Mystical has better draws this game.
Defender either already there, as well as Oniro and Royal Decree. So you might, unless you need to tome for the heat wave, you can just keep the tome away.
There might have, I need to double check what the board state was at the end there, but there might have been a misplay by Mystical clicking the Endrega Warrior order before playing the Stalker. Because Kikimor Stalker actually does have 1 charge by default, so you would have been able to eat the drone to take your Stalker to 4 points and then use the 1 charge that it originally started with to damage the
on a 3-point body.
Uncreate Warrior, whatever the proper name is, the Raider, by 1. And that might have provided the extra point to give the win there.
Yeah, that might have been something we missed. Well, players at times play it fast, but yeah, you need to pay attention with those kinds of things. When the game is on the line, even as a player, you know that occasionally you go, it's so easy. It's only 1 card, but yeah, order matters a lot.
Like, yeah, the micro play really can matter. Like, if every couple turns you're losing a point here or there, that really adds up over the course of a game. And when you have such thin margins as we did last game, it makes a difference. And you see, to start this game, we have generally better draws. Mystical actually gaining access to the combo. So it'll likely be a stronger Sabbath coming back here.
Yeah. And on the opposite side, we see no Knut, no Sigvald, only one of them can be brought out by the Oniro if you want to develop the graveyard to ruin opponent's Sabbath, or improve your Sabbath, not ruin opponent's Sabbath. We didn't see the secret heat wave in DANIRAI's hand, so replay of game 1 is going somewhat in an opposite direction here with the draws.
Yeah, I think it's also like something I don't think we've touched on yet is like, it's kind of obvious, but often in this kind of matchup, you'd like to use your AQ on the defender to set up like a 2 or 3 defenders coming back from the Sabbath. But if the opponent's running Siegfried, that's not such a great idea. So that's why you see the Arachas Queen being used to copy the Idia. So only one defender. It doesn't matter if there's 1 defender or 3 defenders, it's all the same for Siegfried to get through them.
Yeah, that's a nice observation, and it's funny occasionally. One card, usually a neutral card, can easily just flip the matchup or change the strategy in the round or overall the macro strategy of the game. Same goes about Siegfried against the cultists. We've seen that being tagged on multiple tournaments. Just need to also know the perfect timing where to drop and when to drop, like you pointed out. If if Mystical goes for the line, DANIRAI was potentially ready to find that Siegfried in round 2, round 3, or tutor it if necessary, and just cancel your half of your game plan.
Okay, so I'm a bit curious at how long Danny is going to be able to contest this round. Playing into Stalker and Double Leader and a bunch of charges on this in Dragon Warrior is super rough. You do have your Priest Rakar ticking, which is not bad, but yeah, this is quite a distance to catch up.
But we've seen the vial being used, so DANIRAI stays here in the round. He of course has Svalbard that he can drop for some nice points while the drones are not eaten yet. So he had the reach even without Soap Leader, and yeah, he had Soap Leader, so if your opponent accident or unexpectedly passes, of course that would cost you a good card or a good combo, but the reach was there. But he opts for playing bronzes for now while keeping the reach. Yeah, we see that Mystical has bronzes of his own as well, and he can also turn off the front row combo with the Stalker.
Yeah, so the Spores setting up the kill, because the Priest is actually quite low base power, just 3. The Spores sets it up nicely to be stalked down and taken out.
Yeah. The true star of the deck, even if you try to multiply Eaters, is quite often this Stalker. The small bot is getting committed in round 1. Wiping
again,
some
like
of
we're just seeing here how much DANIRAI values the round control, but I really don't know if Blob is even enough to contest this round control right now.
Yeah, and the blob is just getting stalked down as well, so you might be a god in some cultists' eyes, but for this Kikimor Stalker, you're just prey.
And oh my, I mean, okay, yeah, that is fine to commit Sova if needed to win this round. Like that's what this is telling me right now. But that could be hard because the Skrull is played onto the front row, gets rid of the Svalbard, and blocks the melee row from the Serve. So that's a really, really powerful play coming out from the Skrull. It might be small, but it can do great things.
Yeah, this bear just got demolished by some spider and the squirrel. So he might be losing quite a few of its followers. Okay, so yeah, Mystical takes this round completely, well, by the end, we've seen some stuff committed as in game 1 that was ending as a tie. So Svalbard was dropped into the graveyard, but he was dealt with. What's the graveyard state now? Well, yeah. Now you're not bringing Knut and Sigurd combo out, potentially. But...
It's just Raging Bear, Maxi, and either Drakara Fnatic coming back. But like, Fanatics aren't even good anymore because the blob is gone, so...
And
this looks
Mystical's,
rough.
yeah, Mystical is happy to take it into a 8-card round 3. Are we seeing, is there anything? Yeah, the Squirrel allocation is being developed here, so Oniromancy is being spent on that. First Oniromancy, so you get access to the card you missed still. So for the Sabbath we have one Cave Troll double either, triple either at the moment, so no guarantees for that defender. Also the Squirrel presence might just influence that anyway.
Squirrel is usually saved for Hive Mind.
Yeah, but there was a double Squirrel at the beginning, so...
Yeah, so we might see...
But yeah, since it was in hand, it was mulliganed away.
Yeah. So like, look, you could like Martyr and... I mean, now there's no access to the Siegfried for DANIRAI. So if you want to get through Defender, that basically forces you to use a Martyr and Location Clash. So sensing that threat, the Heatwave actually comes through onto the location, and this just feels terrible because now this Dwim has nothing really to reset. Totem is not a good target at all. It has cooldown 1 anyways. So, yeah.
But the big boys are out. Sigvald is there, Knut is on the board as well. So they just need something to hit. They are dying for a fight. And
I might have preferred if DANIRAI actually used a leader there. Because, like, let's say you heatwave the defender now. If you use your leader, the Idiz will actually knock it down to 11 power. And then the Canute is only dealing 6 damage in conjunction with the leader. So, look, ordinarily you wouldn't be able to finish the Idir off, but it's a bit of a different story with this Uncrate Raider. It actually could be a nice little bit of extra damage to actually finish things off. But I don't know if you care as much about shutting down the Idirs. DANIRAI might just be more focused on dealing with the Kikimor Stalkers that are coming back out.
Yeah, that might be the reason for it. Also, yeah, this Patricidal Fury leader is nice and all, but Glusty combines with it somewhat nicely. Especially with the last save. There is also no Svalbard anymore to come into play. And yeah, those healers are just standing on the board waiting for the target, but 4 more units are coming, so they won't be completely out of job. Pretty tall units on the board from DANIRAI's side mean that this Kikimor Stalker needs first to eat. Buff itself a little bit, then maybe it can attack a 5. And also Cultist being on the board, Fanatics is not the greatest target for you to try and stalk.
And yeah, here's the Hive Mind, so yeah, you have Skrull as an answer. But the problem with playing Skrull as an answer here is it doesn't deal with this Rand Warrior, it doesn't deal with this Kikimor Stalker, and it gives extra charges onto these idiots, so I don't know if you really can afford to take the scroll here. Okay, now the Stalker is dealt with, you can afford a little bit more to do so, but yeah, still not feeling great with that.
Yeah. So indeed, the Hive Mind is gone. We have Knut at 5, so there is a Parasite in the deck if you want to, but what are you giving your opponents? Sidrifa's Rite, Verification and Mardrum are available. Sidrifa's Rite
yeah,
is of course not amazing.
I mean, Sigdrifa's Right would be amazing if this turn is used to kill the Canute.
So let's see, but there are yeah. Ah, so wait.
Okay, that is Gallagher getting the win. That is Mystical forfeiting.
Okay.
So despite that round one looking like it doesn't go well, the Canute and the Sigvald are able to still shut down enough Stalkers.
And now we are into an Erland mirror.
Oh no. Ugh.
Okay, chat, who likes a good Erland mirror? Raise your hand. So we see...
I'm keeping my hand firmly planted by my side.
We have mutagenerators ready to go. What else is it the player session? We only see DANIRAI having the temple.
So like, I'm not sure how much the skill level of the players matters here. Unless that skill level is how good you are at drawing your rune mage and getting a good temple. I mean, maybe there's an argument that, like, I don't know if like you would use a heat wave or a shoop to deal with a mutation generator immediately here. What are the toll punishes of choice here? So Mystical is running a heat wave, and there's a vanilla Geralt on the side of DANIRAI. So notably, none of them are running the Igni, so none can really deal with the Erland.
Long live, etc., etc.
Yeah. Time to just engine, I guess.
Yeah, DANIRAI also not opting for playing Secret in every one of his decks, because, well, while it's good at some things, it's also replaceable by actual points and Pelor, on other occasions, and Pelor is, well, has extra synergies with Mutant Generator if you need to purify or want to keep him. We see that the temple is being leadered for. There are extra leader charges available for both players because Radovitz is in hand.
That's some good pulls.
Yeah, that's a decent choice. Might deserve a bit of propane.
It's a bit of a shame you can only pick one of them. But gonna have to quickly choose the remaining ones. Draug, I think, is pretty good here. And
I'm not sure how good Roche is when you play your bronzes just because you have to, and not because they're all that great on its own.
So Mystical takes the Archgriffin actually from the third pool. First two pools were, I think, as you'd most likely expect, the Gerhard and the Draug. But taking the Archgriffin, I don't know if you can use that with Bruce coming out from like Redea or the Gerhard maybe. We could see some decent Archgriffin shenanigans, but I don't think you have enough spare leader charges to use for the Archgriffin right now.
Yeah, you can temple Archgriffin. It goes big. You just expect your opponent not to have a toll punish. Amazing. But yeah, we see the temple being used on and Sace instead. And the carryover is being pumped into the deck at an incredible rate. Well, DANIRAI already put 10 points, Mystical It's also doing some, both players managed to miss the Rune Mage, which is incredible with it. Because it allows you to put 10 points of carryover into the deck. Oh, Archgriffin is making an appearance here as well.
I don't think these on pools are on average as good as Mystical. The last pool
guess
being
me.
taking the Queen Neve
Yeah.
over the Sigismund Dijkstra. Yeah, so you have Revenant Kinbolt, Queen Neve, and
Yeah, double Queen. Queen Adalia.
Adalia.
Over the
Is it Adalia or
Gurkha.
Adalia?
I use Adalia. But it's also a question of, I'm not sure what is the correct order, but there are a bunch of cards that are just coming from Polish or Russian translations that you hear, or you read the books and then you just go with it. So notably some characters like Ox is named completely different in the original books or games books. So yeah, pronunciations are all over the place in the Witcher universe from the Gwent community at the very least. So we see Radovit landing, and yeah, both players are just playing some carryover and some bronze engines.
I'm a bit interested in how DANIRAI decides not to go for the Ansace from the temple, instead opting for the Isis Companions to ensure you get access to the Iris discard, or potentially if you draw the Iris next round, if you want to read it that way, you can tutor perhaps like a Rune Mage instead. I think the reasoning here is that the opponent actually isn't going to go that tall on units except for Ansace, so you don't need a super big Ansace of your own to duel. And instead, you have your Geralt to deal with the enemy's Ansace anyways.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of makes sense going for this. The other thing I'd point out is this Squire charge has been sitting on Mystical's board for a very long time, opting not to use it onto the Redanian Knight. I wonder when it will finally get clicked. There's still like a Sintra Knight or a Prince Ansace that are also knights that would get the infusion, or is he going to try to just greed it into next round? Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so I don't see a single raised hand about the Erland Mirror being anyone's favorite, but I see some people who are opposed to NR mirrors. Not everyone's favorite. And I think for Erland mirrors, at least they made it more exciting by introducing Temple into the faction, because otherwise it's a pretty vanilla type of gameplay. But with the Temple there is a variance. It feels like a Nilfgaardian match at times. That's what I'm leading into.
Kung Fu, I thought you asked me to cast Gwent and not Hearthstone.
Yes, but you cannot change it anymore, so we'll have to roll with what we have.
You're right, but what we can do is we can nerf Temple to 25 provisions, so you should all join the coalition against Temple of Militale, the coalition against Hearthstone gameplay. But I guess the nice thing coming out of Temple for DANIRAI here is that this Queen Adalia can be used to spawn a copy of the 4 provision unit. It allows you to basically double dip on the double dip on the image generator carryover, because there is still like a vanilla Geralt and an Ansace in deck getting buffed, and a Rune Mage getting buffed by the Adalia, and of course way too many 4 provision units that achieve the buffs from the Cintrian Knight. Nice work getting the Grace on the Redanian Knight. And yeah, a lot of even this Vitality trigger on the Cintrian Knight should now go through with the additional Grace buff from the Redanian Knight, and that is the round 1 by DANIRAI. I think he also got a little bit more value out of his Nuge generator.
Yeah, didn't get his Ansace, but as you mentioned, yeah, maybe not that many targets you need to deal. with, especially with some engines already dropped by both players in round 1. We see Archgriffin getting featured here for a second, most likely, but no, it's being kept.
It's better than a Pella,
Yeah, Peller.
but you don't want to shuffle it back if it's not boosted, because that's kind of just clogging yourself.
So
So we do see a bleed actually.
Yeah, plays
starting
into the
here
round.
with the Arachas companions. This does play into the Unsace, of course, but you'd be happy to deal with the Unsace with your own vanilla Geralt. Kind of. And you'd definitely be trading down a bit in that case, but yeah, we'll see how this continues.
Axe or mace, sir?
Okay, so DANIRAI is not going into I'll play just my golds and try to apply pressure. Yeah, looks like a pretty long round 2 and the push.
If you're able to like force the opponent to click their play their Erland, then you just win basically. But I don't think you'll really get to the point where you're able to force them to voluntarily.
Especially once again, partially because of the temple. It provides you with pretty expensive and pretty powerful golds at times. So unless you spend your own Erland, probability of pushing your opponents is pretty low. They can just mulligan Erland and take another card.
The sun, our mighty ally it is.
Not a bad rune mage there, playing for 12 points of tempo. But the problem here, this bleed is just ill-fated, I think, because of this Ansace. The Ansace itself plays for 25 points. It's just Mystical's get out of jail free card. Like, Mystical can play as slow as he wants here. And I don't see DANIRAI really being able to force much out unless the Serland gets committed himself.
But when are you dropping your Unsace? Like, if you expect the vanilla girl being in hand, probably, just sitting on it, trying to prevent that card from getting instant value. So instead we see Radea dropped first, and Mystical is not rushing anywhere.
I think you just save it for after the pass comes through if need be. Or additionally here, you would be able to just get ahead with like a Archgriffin and a leader. So in return, the Radea is committed from DANIRAI here. Immediately clicks the stratagem. So that kind of does say, I might want to get out next round. I'll see how I'm feeling.
What was the Mystical's options on this Radea? Did he...
I'm not sure, went quite quick.
Did he skip tactical advantage, or didn't want the buffs? Because some sort of synergy with the Archgriffin would have been achieved there, but we see just the lamp. There might have been potential skull, but that's 1 point less, and you are getting pushed, so maybe not toying with that idea. Especially since Archgriffin on its own wouldn't be enough combined with 5-point TA. He needed to burn some leader charges to do that.
Right. Time to jump the Archgriffin. Yes. This is not bad because you could sort of just, let's say, play a Gerhardt next turn, and that would play nicely with the Archgriffin here. I think.
Yeah.
Actually, leaving Gerhardt would be just short.
It plays for what, 13? But your pact is putting Doomed on a unit, right?
Oh,
So
yeah, so maybe that's not great. But you do stop the Archgriffin shuffling back and kind of self-clogging anyways, so maybe it is fine.
I'm not
But maybe something
100%
is good
sure
because
about that interaction, of course, but something seems to be in the book. Otherwise, yeah, it's incredible play with the Erland being a card.
Yeah, I mean, look, shuffling the Archgriffin back is good because that's an extra body for Erland, right?
Yeah.
Look at that synergy. We actually see the Queen Meve being played by DANIRAI, and that's not bad because this board is quite wide for DANIRAI. In response, this could be a good time to go for a Draug perhaps, or sure, go hot. Not as interesting, fine. Just play the pure points, sure. And this Meve won't tick until after Mystical passes, which means this Meve likely does just get answered by the Ansace. Alternatively, you could maybe Leader and just play Bronze instead, hope to draw back into the Ansace next round. Like you could say Leader at Centurion Envoy and play that front row to try and get a guaranteed top deck. See if you can draw into like your own Rune Mage, Iris's Companions, or Shoop, something of that kind. Because you do have more golds in deck remaining here for Mystical. I think, at least good golds. It just opts for the Ansace instead. I think I would have preferred the Envoy. Because you're able to kind of just preserve resources, but maybe thinks it's better to have 2 leader charges? I'm not sure, because you really don't have many good Northern Realms things to actually tutor right now. So yeah, I don't think that was necessary.
Well, he gets Envoy now. Ah, yeah, Meve also got triggered.
Oh,
So
okay, Meve. Yeah, okay, I forget about the Meve timer. Okay, ignore what I was just saying. Yeah, kill the Meve, that's necessary.
I was checking what else he has in the deck. So Draug is there, Pincer Maneuver, Leaders, 2 of them can be used on Draug, and well, the Priestess has 3 charges, but yeah, you cannot reach neutrals. As far as DANIRAI's choices go, there isn't Sace at 7 power, so not even from Temple, he is pretty great nonetheless.
Okay, so I'm curious what kind of Shoop DANIRAI is trying to go for here. Is it going to be some shenanigans to try to snipe the Erland? That might work. If the Erland is played next. Instead, it could just be like a
instead
Shoop.
he just takes Shoop now, so it's a 20-point play.
Yeah.
You allow your opponent to play Erland safely now.
So, yeah. I mean, on the flip side, Mystical still has a Shoop of their own in deck. They could have neutralized this to some degree by playing their own Shoop Mage with the damage split. But that still would have played for less value than the Shoop Seas here. So, I guess DANIRAI can still tutor Kimbo and Ansace.
Yeah.
Which this Centurion Envoy can have some nice synergy actually with the Kimbolt here. Able to summon out the Cursed Knight.
Yeah, and Ansace potentially pulls well, yeah. Something out as well. But
not because it got boosted too much. I guess you just pull a scroll.
Ah, yeah, it gets boosted now as well. Not like the lock would have mattered, but ah, yeah, it got boosted just now. I just looked at the numbers before the Erland. So yeah, Priestess is the second target for Mystical here. We see the Erland click, 27 points is It's a decent Erland, considering he didn't get his Iris combo.
Yeah.
But DANIRAI's
Well,
bronzes are looking pretty beefy.
Once a bloody
And he
always a
also
I wonder-
gets...
bastard.
I wonder if Mystical should have just taken the Anses earlier here. Like, I know you're scared about the vanilla Geralt, but if the opponent has Iris and you don't, you probably need to risk something because your Erland is gonna be quite a bit smaller.
Even if your front line melee row is getting wiped by enemies' damage, in the end you still amass enough bodies for that powerful 3's play. You have some engines, you have some locks, some control as well, so good at maybe not the best at many things,
Oh.
but at the same time pretty good at most of them.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this round one develops here, because there is not really great ways to get through Defender for DANIRAI. You only have Vilgefortz, and once you're through the Vilgefortz, then your locks. Sorry, once you're through the Defender, your locks can actually do things. But you only have one Toll Punish in this list. So what that means is, if you deal with the Defender now, it comes back from Sabbath and you're not able to get through it later, which means you really would need to bleed out Sabbath in that case. But all this stuff I'm saying is kind of pointless because the Vilgefortz is missing for DANIRAI, so there is no way to get through this Defender coming down from Mystical.
Yeah, Renfri is not very... No. Oh, maybe Predatory Dive. Let's go.
I think, yeah, that's the win con. It's not found.
But not found. But attempt has been made. And yeah, Renfri is not really known for playing specials unless you have 26 cards in your deck. So we see that Arcane Tome doesn't backfire for Mystical. He found that one matchup where Arcane Tome doesn't betray him instantly.
Yeah. And you know what else Renfri is known for? It's known for playing a lot of units, which Idir is very happy to play against, because that means Idir is triggering every single turn DANIRAI plays something.
Yeah. While some of the soldiers have armor, there is enough stuff to damage, and not even every soldier has some.
Yeah.
We see that this is a potential parasite target if you wish to expand parasite in this position.
I don't think you care. This Marine on back row is not a threatening engine right now. Like, it depends a bit where this card it is moving is, but it's probably going to take a bit for it to actually start doing something. You'd much rather just develop your board with the Arachas Queen, I expect. Though, I mean, I think we see, okay, the parasite actually is used.
Mystical decides that, yeah, the staying power, the power to stay in the round is boosted by those Marines, so decides to answer the first one. Second one, yeah, still goes through. And the combo of Mysticals got delayed by one turn. But at least there is no 5 soldiers on the board already, so you're only allowing this Nekora to tick one time while wasting a turn for answering an engine.
I mean, yeah, like, it's really hard for this Nekora to eventually bleed down this Defender.
Especially
Like,
with
even if you
the
get close,
Hideous Feasts.
Hideous Feast can just protect it. Yeah, it's hard to bleed out when you have a bunch of things to feast on.
So first we see the Kikimor Stalker landing, allowing for Mystical to get some control. So he doesn't feel any pressure with his hand to play the guide move after move. You can just spend a couple of turns for other business. And finally we see, we actually see Hideous Fist and the answer for the second Marine as well. So.
I find this quite interesting. Mystical is putting a lot of onus on answering the soldiers coming out from DANIRAI, and doesn't care as much about establishing his own engines with like this double idea. So yeah, maybe the thought process is, I just need to win this round. If I win this round, I win the game easily. So yeah, I'd much rather just make sure these soldiers aren't threatening. But like, idiots are also kind of scary in and of their own right. Like, I would have thought, like, that is enough by itself, like, at least a 2-point per turn engine. Like, I would have thought that's more scarier than having to deal with Marines, but... yeah. Okay.
And we see another defender coming out of this AQ any moment now. Well, no reason not to. Unless, yeah, he was just considering if he wants to click either 2 times.
Okay. So the reasoning to do this is that if you have 2 defenders, the Vilgeforce can only get through one of them. So then the third unit you have behind them, in this case the Ide, would be completely safe. And additionally, any Stalkers are also safe, but they also can't really be dealt with because Locks don't do good against Stalkers. But Van Warriors are sort of more the thing you'll be protecting against Locks by having the extra defender. So yeah, here comes the Van Warriors with the Stalker on board, this Arachas Nest, coming out from the Arachas Queen. A lot of Arachas cards being played, a lot of drones coming out. I think this is now the point where, okay, not quite.
Yeah, I guess he... no reason. Well, he has to consume something on the front row to actually play his Endrega Warrior there to get himself another defender if he wishes to. Of course, he already has 2 defenders. He pointed out that there is no necessity for the third one. But yeah,
I think you see the points here.
Yeah,
and the problem is this Triss Meteor Shower is very, very threatening. This is a very big front row. Granted, not super tall units, but even if this Triss is boosting on average each unit by at least 2, that's a 20+ point Triss, which is pretty solid.
Yeah, front row is also a little bit clogged, so you have a lot of charges to maybe try and kill a couple of force on DANIRAI's melee, but you cannot click. You have to spend your charges to actually consume the drones.
Yeah, I think Misty should be able to get the round win here, though, I think. Like, these are a lot of charges on this Aether and this Endrega Warrior.
This Triss is putting... okay, we don't even see Triss at the moment. And with the Bleach, DANIRAI also has enough. Snipes the front row, so makes Mystical's life a little bit easier. Here we go, some reading. Well, probably would have preferred one of the drones eaten first.
Yeah. I wonder... okay, just a heatwave onto Renfri's game, playing around the Triss. No, yeah, this Mage Assassin feels so bad right now. I guess you play the Mage Assassin here, and then just pray the Triss is gonna be enough. I don't think you gain anything playing the Triss.
Yeah.
You're not catching up if all these charges get used here, regardless.
So that's like 21.3. So you are sitting only at 62. Mystical has a lot of charges if he finally decides to spend those.
Yeah.
And I would expect that he does click everything. But he needs to start doing clicking now because the rope is burning and this is the last turn to actually cash in all those charges.
Oh.
So he already has more points than DANIRAI can amass with this 3's play. And goes for the carryover of the Hive Mind. Also just picking a 4-point body. Not to contest it with a 7. And reserving 2 engines for the later. Also seen one lock being spent here. Of course there is another one and double slave driver. And the lock is found. Oh, nice top deck with the Renfri as well. But he got some job done with playing those Marines, so I guess their entry was pushed towards the top deck, right? And Mystical once again, we're playing this AQ deck, decides to just pass immediately.
You can't get through the... Maybe, like, the only silver lining here for DANIRAI is that the Witch's Sabbath will bring back 3 pretty high base power units on your side of the board. That plays nicely into the Triss Meteor Shower. But there is a lot of engines that I don't think you're going to have a great time dealing with. My internet cut out. It's like my game client is just finishing round 1 now. So I don't know what is actually happening.
No, okay, interesting. So Sabbath is found. What is a Necromancy? Well, any bronze you wish. For the Mystical, DANIRAI is starting with his soldiers and Nausicaa. Yes, we also see him split in rows. Providing Sabbath with a choice here, so alternatively Sabbath could have been used on the opposite row, right?
Yeah.
So now you split.
Yeah, forcing the opponent to do Triss Farm.
So you are stealing some extra Triss value. Not sure how much is it bringing to you, but yeah, that's the idea. You put a unit on both rows, so you cash in on 2 extra points from Triss. Because I don't think Mystical really cares which row he Sabbaths onto. Damage, play a bronze, boost a unit, damage. Okay. Players are usually with 5 options are picking faster, so damage all enemy units by 1 and set the lowest power light unit to 10.
This is quite nice. If Mystical tries to set up a 1 power unit on DANIRAI's side of the board, setting it to 10 power is optimal value and denying the Glusty. Whilst also, just damaging each unit on Mystical's board means you can't afford to set up any drones early. You really need to save as many spawns as possible for final turn. Like, you don't want to use the spontaneous evolution too early, but yeah, you still want to play it before the Glusty. It's a bit of an interesting situation.
Yes. And that's the Renfri's deck here. Kinda looks like... What interesting is there? It literally has a Nausicaa and another Nausicaa. The cards do not interact, and you are playing against Mystical's deck that has a game plan and very greedy engines. But the points are insane. But we also seen some huge glusty swings throughout the...
Yeah, but the glusty
year.
swings here might not
Yeah,
be that good. Yeah, DANIRAI's board is really big. Like each unit is pretty tall.
Yeah.
It's not easy to set up like Renfri's Gain, Renfri, Isis Companions to 1 power. And there's also the leader from DANIRAI to sort of stop you from being able to do that too early. And the Triss will also just make things even further out of reach.
You basically are not setting up 1 point units on Nilfgaard's side of the board.
That Mystical is going to have to go for a really long final turn.
Okay, alternatively, yeah, that's an amazing line to take. But, oh, wait. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of those forfeits, but, well, your entire game plan just got ruined by Triss, and all the material you stockpiled for the later round, in this round just got erased. So yeah, might admit that I also didn't see that coming. And that's the final. How did you... We didn't really lead on this amazing play, because that's not really the regular line to take against with the Triss.
Yeah, that was
that was amazing. Another very great play by the contestants here. Puzzle saw it. Of course Puzzle saw it. Puzzle wrote it like a year ago already in his manuscript, the Opus Magnum. But yeah, cool stuff. And now we congratulate DANIRAI with winning Winner Takes All 4, getting $250. So, Community Masters. And the important thing about it is, of course, community, because it's not an attempt by Matol to just replace CDPR running the tournament. Of course, some people might leave because there is no official patches. Of course, there are people who gonna be disappointed with the lack of the competitive scene, but this is an attempt to save the competitive scene by having tournaments throughout the year. So this is the screen that we showed yesterday.